Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about my favorites for the month. I definitely have some fun favorites to show you guys this week that I'm really excited about. I honestly had to cut this video way back because, or not the video, but the plants to show you on this video way back because I had a lot of Anthurium that have just been jumping out at me like crazy this month. But I cut it back a little bit, so it's not all Anthurium. I do have a philodendron in there. I think I've got a Hoya, something else as well. So I definitely have a little mix for you guys today. So let's just jump right on in. Oh, and I also have some flops for the month as well, which I don't usually have, but I had some flops this month. So I want to talk to you guys about them. So let's just get on into it. I'm going to start with the good stuff. We'll mix the flops in the middle. That way we can begin and end on a positive note, shall we? I'm already too warm in this. Okay, it was not hot out this morning. It was pretty gray and rainy and kind of nasty out this morning, but it's actually turning out to be a pretty nice day. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, but the first plant that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is an Anthurium. I know. If you're not into Anthurium, what's wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. I understand sometimes they're kind of scary, but this is my Anthurium vitchii. Now, can you see why this is on my favorites list? Look at that new leaf. It is so beautiful. I'm trying to get the whole thing in frame for you here, but let me kind of get up closer so you can see that beautiful color. Oh my goodness. Look at those abs. So beautiful. And this new leaf, oh, did I even say this is my Anthurium vitchii, or the King Anthurium. I'm just so happy with this plant. This is one that I got from Equigenera, and I think this was on my very first import order from them. Or no, probably my second. I don't remember. But anyway, it came in. It has, I think, a lot of the little baby leaves that it came with. I watered today, so all of my saucers are going to be filled up with water, so I got to be careful. I'm also filming on my bed. I've got Luna sprawled out sleeping next to me right now, so if you end up hearing snores later, that's her. But yeah, I got this from Equigenera. It grew really, really well for me. I want to say I bought it as, I think they may have labeled it as a seedling size, but it definitely was not the size that I would consider to be a seedling whatsoever. It was a good size, and it was starting to get some of the abs already on the leaves. Here's one of the older leaves here that's still a bit more mature than some of the other little babies that it came with. There's this little guy here, but yeah, as it's been growing, we've had some issues with some pests and stuff, but it's been growing really well and quite steadily, I would say, since I got it. And the leaves are just, they're so pretty, and they're pretty tough too. I would say this is a fairly tough Anthurium, and I'm really interested to see how it's going to progress as it continues to grow, because this leaf here was quite a chubby wide leaf, and this one's a little bit less wide, but still pretty chubby, I would say. It's got some width on it, but this newest leaf is much more narrow, very slender. It's so beautiful. Let me see if I can show you the back of the leaf without hurting it or something. Oh, look how cool the back of the leaf is. You see that? Isn't that awesome? I just love this plant. I think it is so beautiful. I love how the leaf gets larger and larger as it continues to grow and harden off, and just that beautiful emergent color. I can't get enough. Look at her. So yeah, Anthurium vitchii. This is a plant that I would say is quite thirsty also. Like I said, I just watered, but I feel like I watered this less than a week ago. It has been pretty hot here, not as hot as it's been in some other parts of the world, and just of the United States even. It's been way up there. I want to say some places in Arizona got to 120 degrees or something. That's crazy. So if you are in some of those really, really, really hot areas, I wish you the best. I wish you AC, and I hope everyone's staying safe out there with this crazy, crazy heat. But anyway, yeah, due to the crazy heat, I have been having to water a little bit more frequently, which I definitely don't mind right now. It keeps my brain nice and occupied. But this one has definitely been wanting more water recently. And I guess I can see why, because he's been working on this beautiful leaf. So yeah, Anthurium vitchii. Oh no. It looks like I've got a saucer leaking in my cabinet. That's not good. I have to address that later. Okay, let's move on to the next plant, my next favorite for the month. Woo! This guy's gone a little bit wonky because he's been like up on top of my Ikea shelf, or my Ikea cabinet rather. And I mean, it's got shelves in it, so you could call it a shelf, I guess. But yeah, anywho, this is my Alocasia cuprea. Look at her. This is just such a cool plant. It's so alien, which I actually, speaking of an alien-esque looking plant, I want to do a video coming up here pretty soon on just like otherworldly looking plants. So if you have any suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll look them up and see if I need to include any of them in that video, because I just love a really crazy, weird looking plant that just looks like it doesn't belong on this planet. And I feel like this is one of them. I mean, look at her. She looks like an alien beetle or something. It's all shiny and delicious. I didn't shine these leaves either. They're just shiny like that somehow. This is like one of the only plants that seems to not be fully coated in dog hair. So gotta appreciate that. But just look at her. Oh, and I was saying too, she's kind of wonky right now because she is on top of my Ikea cabinet. So it's like reaching for the sunlight, but I honestly don't mind. And then let me show you the back of the leaf too. Look at that. That is so pretty. And can you see that like light green margin all around the leaf there? Ooh, it's delicious. So pretty. So this is an alocasia that I usually can't get to have more than 2 or 3 leaves at one time. Sydney Plant Guy, I think, has like a crazy big, beautiful alocasia cuprea that has tons of leaves, and they're just like massive and gorgeous and super happy. We obviously live in completely different parts of the world, very different climates. But I aspire to have an alocasia cuprea like his one day because it's just insane. This is still, I would consider it to be like kind of a baby, even though I have had this alocasia for a long time. How long have I had you? I've probably had this alocasia for close to 2 years maybe, and it was pricey when I bought it. It was on sale when I bought it, and I kind of got gypped. Okay, this is a little story time for you of kind of what to look for if a nursery is having a really large houseplant sale, because this is kind of bad. And I have like been very wary of this. All right, let me just tell you. So I got this at one of my favorite nurseries, where I used to live, and they were having a big houseplant sale. It had been, you know, advertised for weeks and weeks before. Like they were really hyping it up. It was going to be a huge, huge houseplant sale, and like the larger plants, the 6-inch and larger, I think, were even more on sale than all the other sized houseplants. So it was a big deal. We were very excited, us houseplant people. And they had cupreas, and they were fairly new to the nursery market in my area, at least. I feel like they were pretty new to the market in general. Like they had still been considered fairly rare up until this point. And so when they got them in, I was so excited, but they were like $80+ for a rather small plant. And then when they had the sale, what they essentially did was they had plugs, little like, you know, 1-inch little plugs. Sounds like looks like what it sounds like, essentially. And they had been charging a very, I would say a very high amount for the small 1-inch plugs. It's just like a singular corm growing out of it, essentially. They're just corm propagations, and which is totally fine to sell that way, of course, but they were pretty pricey. I'm not here to like bash anyone's pricing or anything like that, because for the time, like I said, they were fairly new to the market, so people were super excited about it. So they definitely could charge more for it, and people were like totally going for it. So obviously they're going to do that. That makes sense. It's business. But what they did for the sale was they took, I think, 2 or 3 of the plugs, and then they put them into like a 10-inch pot or 8-inch pot. I feel like it was an 8-inch pot. It was very, very large. And then they marked it up higher. So I think it was marked at like $120. And then they had their like 40 or 60% off sale. So long story short, I paid a decent amount of money for plants that ended up really suffering. And that was actually not the first time that this had happened, actually from the same nursery. The first time was with a philodendron, like Bloody Mary or something like that. It was in like an 8-inch pot, 10-inch pot, got it on a big sale, and it almost completely died back before I knew to check the roots. I was still pretty new to plants at that point. And when I checked the roots, you could see where the little plugs were. And it was like, okay, it makes 0 sense to have this little teeny tiny plug in an 8-inch pot. Like, it was crazy. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Obviously, if you feel like the price is still good, like even if those little plugs had been in a smaller pot, I would have paid the same price for it. You know what I mean? They did not have to put it in a super large pot. So just something to kind of be cautious about when you come across a really nice sale. Just check the pot, check the roots when you get home. Make sure it's in the appropriate size pot, because, you know, sometimes they will up pot them, mark them up so that when they mark it down, they're not losing as much money. I hope that makes sense, because it was definitely a shocker for me when I realized that, and it was a bummer because the plants suffered essentially, and they didn't need to. So yeah, I've had this plant for a long time. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs with this Alocasia, and I'm really glad that we seem to be on a decent track so far. I keep it in a pretty small pot. It could honestly probably be in a smaller pot than this. It's just a singular corm. I have taken a couple corm propagations from this. They died en route to Washington. Unfortunately, they just did not make it. So I'm just down to this little trooper here. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I can keep him alive and happy. But yeah, I feel like I went on about this plant for a super long time, so I'll end it here. My list isn't even as Anthurium heavy as I was thinking, so I don't even feel that bad. Okay, let's do, I guess I'll just do this guy down here. Get these out of my way. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Did I have that hit your paw? Huh. Oh. Alrighty, the next plant here is one that I feel like I don't talk about very often, because I honestly don't think about it very often. It's one of those plants that just kind of is over there, and he's just chilling over there, and I very rarely have to water this plant. So yeah, it's just like super easy, chill plant. Looks really, really cool as well. And it is my Raven ZZ. Look at her. She is so pretty. And do you see all of the little green poking out within that? Those are all new shoots. So the coolest thing about the Raven ZZ, if you're not familiar, is that the leaves, when they're matured, are these super, super dark, almost black leaves. You can see like a hint of green in them when you're looking at the backs and stuff like that, but they are pretty much just fully black leaves on the top. They're so beautiful. But when the new leaves come in, they are bright lime green, just like a normal ZZ plant, but they will slowly but surely fade to this super dark, almost black color. It's so cool. It's just beautiful to watch happen. And they grow from these large tubers. I don't know if I'm able to show you this, but there are, do you see this like potato looking guy down in the soil there? That's kind of their main, sir? I got a guy backing up over here. But that's kind of their main, like, I don't know, source, I guess, of life. And so that's kind of what I look at to know if it's time to water this plant or not, because these plants are known for being super low light tolerant, although I will say they like bright light. Like, they definitely like bright light. But they've also been known to be able to go weeks and weeks in between waterings, which they definitely can. I would say that's for sure true about this guy. But once it starts getting brighter light, it will want to get watered more frequently, and it will start pushing out more and more growth. So in the wintertime and stuff, it just kind of goes, not dormant, because it doesn't die back by any means. It just stalls. It's just like taking a nap, you know? It kind of goes into hibernation, I guess. Nothing will die back, really. It'll just not grow at all. And then once spring and summer hits, the growth will really start to pop out here. But what I was trying to say, I'm like so all over the place here. The way I'll know to water, because like I said, you can go weeks and weeks in between, so the soil is going to be absolutely bone dry no matter what, most likely. But the way you'll know it's time, because these leaves they're not going to tell you, but the little potato guy that's down in there, the big tuber that it's kind of growing out of, that will start to get really wrinkled and just kind of nasty looking. It shouldn't get soft. It'll still be hard, but it'll look wrinkled. And that's how you'll know it's time to give this guy water. So right now, if I get you in there to look at that, the potato looks, and it is not an actual potato. I'm just calling it that. But if you look at it right now, that guy in there looks nice and smooth and plump, I would say. You know, he's like, he's really smooth. He's not wrinkled whatsoever. But before I watered this guy, like a few days ago, the potato looking guy was very wrinkled. It looked like a sad potato. So that's how I knew it was time. And I, like, honestly, I just realized just how many stalks are coming out of here. There's a bunch. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stalks coming out of here. That is so cool. And they just like shoot out from the bottom of the soil, or the top of the soil rather. You see those little guys in there? Such a beautiful plant. I just had this guy in the living room. He gets a decent amount of light. I'm lying. He doesn't get that much light, honestly. It stays pretty dark in there. He does not get much light, but he's still been doing really, really well despite that. I think just because he's getting a little bit more light than he's used to from winter and stuff. So it's enough to kind of get him kicked back into gear. So yeah, beautiful plant, definitely underrated. This is also a plant that you can find at like any big box store or anything like that for a really reasonable price. So if you're into the look of this plant, kind of add some cool dark gothic color to your collection, this is a really, really good option. Okay, the next one we're going to do is kind of a twofer because I couldn't just pick one or the other. Oh, this is going to be risky business. Like I said, I just watered everything, so. Okay, let me get it situated in the right manner to show you. Oh my God. That would be so sad if I spilled this water. Okay. We're not gonna spill, we're not gonna spill, we're not gonna spill. No, 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 no. Okay. All right. So the next two plants that I want to show you at the same time, they are rather similar on account of one is just kind of like a slight hybrid of the other, but I have my Anthurium warocqueanum, or the Queen Anthurium, and then my Anthurium warocqueanum esmeralda, I believe. Oh my God, so beautiful. Here's the two of them next to each other. So this one here is the Queen, and this one is the Queen Esmeralda. So you can see the Esmeralda is much wider. It doesn't have quite as pronounced veination, and it's just, yeah, definitely much chunkier. Much chunkier. So cute. So both of these guys I have gotten, I said that's so weird. I got both these guys from Equigenera at the same time, actually. So when I purchased this little guy, the Queen, it was also a seedling size. I got it the same time that I got the vitchii, so you can tell the vitchii has definitely grown much better than the Queen. we've had some issues, which I'm not surprised. The queen is kind of notorious for being kind of a bratty, tricky plant to deal with. They're very particular about, it kind of seems like everything. They want like good airflow, they want good humidity, they want good light, they want to not be too dry. I don't know. Anything else? You got anything else to add? But yeah, they're just kind of picky plants overall. So I have definitely had some issues with this plant. Not like necessarily pest issues, just issues with crisping and yellowing of the leaves like rather quickly. So yeah, I did actually just today pull off a couple of the older, smaller, really yellow and crispy leaves, because although they do crisp up, at least for me, pretty quickly and yellow pretty quickly, they stay on the plant for a long time. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but I decided to just pluck those ones off of there. That way the plant can focus all of its energy into the beautiful new leaf here and hopefully working on another new leaf. It is, I would say, probably one of my slowest growing Anthurium is the queen here, but it's just beautiful. Like, look at that. Look at that leaf. This is now the oldest leaf on the plant and the roughest looking as well. We got a crispy tip that I have like, oh, from the back it looked like I chopped it off, which I didn't remember doing, so I thought that was weird, but no, it's just curled up at the tip there. Looking real sad. And then let me flip it around here. I don't know why I'm still holding both of these at the same time. I don't really have a good place to set these, so I'm double fisting plants here. Hello. Okay, here is our second oldest leaf. This one is beautiful, although it is starting to yellow just like at the tip and kind of along like the upper, one of the upper sides there. You'll see what I'm talking about here. But yeah, it's so hard to show you this without also showing myself. And then the Esmeralda, oh my God, she is so gorgeous. I just love how like dark and long and wide. So, so pretty. Although this is another one, I think because it's a type of queen, perhaps, I don't know. When I got this one, the leaves were freaking massive, dude. They were so big, so beautiful. If you want to see it, you're going to have to check out the, the Anthurium, or not Anthurium, the Ecogenera pop-up video in Denver. I'll link that somewhere up here for you so you can check it out if you want to see what this looked like when I first bought it, because it was so pretty. It was so big. Oh my God. This is the most expensive plant I've ever purchased. It was $85. Payson really had to like convince me to get it. And so I'm really glad that I did, because it is such a beautiful plant. And I know that one day I'll be able to grow her back to that like ginormous, beautiful beast that she once was. But for now, we're just kind of slowly but surely working on this one. She was like pushing out a new leaf right before my move. So that's why this leaf is all weird and wonky, because it just got kind of jacked up in transit. And then it pushed out, or actually no, before that, it pushed out this leaf, which has actually been hanging on for a decent amount of time, so I'm pretty pleased with that. It doesn't look great, but I would say it's still going to be here for like another few months probably. It's holding on decently. It's been there already for a few months. And then yeah, this is its newest leaf. These two leaves came in just around the same exact time, so it was really fun to watch them progress. But this guy is looking a little bit discolored, I would say. I feel like it looks a little bit lighter than it should. So that just may be an issue with being a little bit too close to the light. So maybe after this video, I should try moving it to the lower shelf, because that light is a little bit further away. But other than that, this plant's been doing really, really well. Much better than it used to be doing. This one was cut down to a stump at one point, maybe at 2 points. I don't know. This is another one that's kind of been on a journey, but it's just so rewarding when it finally does grow. So it's one of the plants. These are both, I would say, plants. Okay. These are both plants that I would say I would like keep trying and trying and trying. until it's just fully dead. You know, these aren't gonna be throwaway plants ever for me. They're just too pretty. And honestly, at this point, they're kind of sentimental. So they're here to stay unless they just like fully decide to die. So cross your fingers for me that I can keep these guys alive for longer. Where's that new leaf? There it is. But yeah, the Queen Anthurium and the Queen Esmeralda. All right, now for our flops of the month. This is not a segment that I normally have in my favorites videos because, like I said, I don't normally have many flops, which is definitely a good thing. God, these black straps are freaking killing me. Okay, we're just gonna try and cover it with my hair. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, my flops for the month are going to be, I already forgot. I threw away the bottles. They're both products, okay? They're not plants. They're just products. The first one is going to be the Bonide Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. Now, specifically, I am talking about the ready-to-use spray bottle. I purchased that a few weeks ago now, and I used it all within a week, like less than a week. I used it all. Like, I didn't even feel like I was spraying a bunch. I didn't feel like I like even got to use it that much. I didn't really get to like fully try it, I don't think. But I think that's just the problem, is that it was the ready-to-use spray bottle. You're not getting much product, especially for the price. I want to say it was like $12 to $15 or something like that. So not crazy expensive, but also not crazy cheap either, especially for the amount that you got. It was, I want to say, probably like a size like this, something like that, maybe a little bit smaller. I don't think it was quite this big. What's this? This is a 32-ounce bottle, so it was probably something around that. But it went so fast, and I think all the plants that I sprayed for pests that I like actively saw, I still have pests on those plants. They're still there because I didn't get to really get the treatments in with it. So I think that for me, the ready-to-use insecticidal sprays and stuff like that are just not going to be it. I think I'm just going to go through it too quickly. My collection is too large, which is great, but it just doesn't make sense to have that ready-to-use price, I guess. You know, I'd rather just buy a concentrated amount. That way I can use whatever small amount I want to in the water that I'm spraying and just have it at that. I think I'd be able to find a much better price for what I'm using. So definitely let me know if you have any other suggestions other than just the Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. Sorry, I'm having to read the name of it. I always forget. But yeah, let me know if you have any other suggestions other than just like that concentrated version of the Captain Jack's. I do think I may still want to try that. I did buy a couple other things just because I need a pest spray. I've got some pests on some plants that I really want to get treated. And so I did buy a couple other products just because these were the only two that I could find at the store that looked halfway decent. So let me know your thoughts on these two products. I did get another Bonide Captain Jack's product. This is the insecticidal super soap, ready to use. Again, you know, not the best in my situation, considering how much stuff I would like to spray down. Ideally, I'd like to spray down my entire collection, but that's not going to happen with this. This is just a 16-ounce bottle. It's a very small amount, I would say. I don't remember how much this was. I'll try and look up like an Amazon listing or something. I did buy this at Walmart, I want to say. So I'm sure it's a fairly close price to Amazon. It does say kills listed insects in minutes. And just on the front of the bottle here, it lists spider mites, scale, aphids, thrips, and white flies. And then 30 other listed insects elsewhere on the bottle. So I have used this a couple times so far. I do like that you don't need to rinse it off or anything like that. I was kind of worried with it being labeled as a super soap, that meant I was going to have to rinse it off, but it says you can just leave it on there. So that's what I've done. Like I said, I've only used it a couple times, so I can't really say if it's worked yet. But I think I'm just going to try to continue to use this spray only on like the 2 or 3 plants that I've used it on so far. That way I can actually see if I like how this works, and if it works for me, really. The other one that I purchased, I have not used yet, so I'm really interested to see what you guys think. This is by a brand called Garden Safe. It is the fungicide. Do you say fungicide or fungicide? I say it both ways, I feel like. But fungicide 3 garden products in one. It says it's a fungicide, insecticide, and a miticide, which I have never heard of a miticide before, so that's interesting. It says it controls black spots, rust, and powdery mildew, controls aphids, whiteflies, and other listed insects, and controls spider mites. So we love that. We hate aphids, we hate spider mites, we want those gone. So this is a larger bottle, which I do appreciate. It's a 32-ounce bottle, so a whole quart in this guy. So we'll see if this one lasts a bit longer. I'll try to probably do the same thing that I'm going to attempt to do with this guy, and just kind of like have a few select plants that I use this product on, just to see if I like it, see if it actually works for me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. It looks like one of the main ingredients is neem oil. Not my favorite, but I mean, you know, maybe it'll work. So we'll try this guy out and see. I honestly don't have high hopes. Like I said, definitely leave me any recommendations that you have for a concentrated pest prevention spray down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. On to the next flop for the month. It is along the same lines of the pre-mixed products, and that's going to be pre-mixed, ready-to-go fertilizers. So, oh, I need to go grab the bottle. Guess I won't. It doesn't matter. It's like almost empty. Okay, so I showed you a new fertilizer that I got a few videos ago. I honestly don't remember which video it was in, but it was a new to me, just like ready to pump fertilizer. Forgot the word. But yeah, ready to pump fertilizer. And it was a decent sized bottle. It's like this size. It's already mixed in there. You don't have to do anything except for pump however many pumps into your gallon of water and then feed your plants. Easy peasy. Gotta love that, right? Well, once again, for me, it seems like that ready to use product just is not, it's not going to be the best. And granted, this isn't like fully ready to use. You do still have to put it into your water, but I feel like I just need something a little bit more concentrated, perhaps. That one just went way too quickly. I am already almost completely out, and I don't even feel like I've been watering my plants that much, you guys. They've been getting pretty dry. So yeah, I went through it really, really quickly. I want to say I have maybe 12 more pumps worth, which is like 2 more jugs worth of fertilizer. I was going to say pest spray, but yeah, just a couple more jugs worth of fertilizer left. And that was, I want to say like $15 some or something like that. So I feel like I could find something at a better price that's going to work a little bit better. I do think I'm going to go ahead and try ordering the, oh, what's it called? Everybody uses it. I'm sure you guys are yelling at me through the screen right now what I'm thinking of. Come on. It's fully out of my brain. I'll put in a photo here of what I'm trying to think of. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just order that and see how it works. I want to call it Thrive, but I know it's not Thrive. This is going to drive me up the wall, you guys. It's totally gone out of my brain. I don't remember, but I am going to go ahead and try ordering this product right here and see if that works better for me, because I do know for a fact that it will last me longer than whatever little thing I just purchased a couple weeks ago that's already gone. I know it'll last longer than that because that's what I've heard from all of you guys. So I will be trying this product. I cannot believe I can't think of the name, you guys. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we'll see how that works. If you have any other suggestions for concentrated, very concentrated fertilizers that I can dilute myself so that it will last longer and not be a crazy, crazy high price, drop them in the comments for me below. But yeah, let's move on to some more favorites. This one's a new one. I actually have 2 new plants to talk about with you guys today, so this is kind of fun. So the next plant that I have to show you is, I think, One of the newest plants that I've purchased recently. I have not been purchasing plants recently. At least I've been trying not to. I've been trying not to like go anywhere. Well, I don't really have to try not to go anywhere. I just like don't go anywhere. But anyway, this is a newer plant to me, and it was one that I was shocked to find at the price that I found it. Granted, it is like a total baby plant, but it's growing so well already. Okay, let me just show you. This is her. Look at her. Isn't she so cute? Can you guess what she is? Ugh. This is a Philodendron verrucosum. Why are my eyes watering right now? I'm like reliving how excited I was. I have little joys in this life, all right? I've got my dogs, I've got my plants, okay? When I find an exciting one at a great price, your girl gets emotional, I guess. I don't even know. Okay, anyway, this is a little 2-inch Philodendron verrucosum. I found this little guy for $8.99. You see that? Is that normal now? Because like, I don't feel like that's normal. I feel like that's a killer price. Look at her newest little leaf she just popped out too. Oh my goodness. So if you are in Western Washington, in like northern Western Washington, if that makes sense, and you are looking for some plants, I definitely suggest going to, oh God, what's it called? Houseplants Galore. They have some incredible houseplants galore. The owner, I think his name is Steve, is super, super kind as well. So I definitely suggest checking out the plants that he's got there. He has just, it's freaking huge. Like when I drove up into that little parking lot, well, it's a big parking lot actually. But when I parked and I walked in, it looks like so small from the outside. Not like so small, but it looks like it's going to be like a fairly small little plant shop from the outside. And then you walk in and it still feels kind of quaint and small. And then you like look back and it's freaking massive. Like there's so much space back there and it is all packed to the gills with plants. He has like 1 or 2 Ikea cabinets as well that are filled with beautiful plants too. He's got some gorgeous rare plants. So definitely check out Houseplants Galore if you're looking for plants over here, because he's got some beautiful ones. I checked out another houseplant store too, Plant Envy. I didn't buy anything from there because they had some killer plants. They were like very rare, some beautiful rare Monstera. I saw Monstera aurea in person. It was beautiful. It's a little rich for my blood, but honestly, like amazing prices considering, but still a little rich for my blood. So I didn't get anything from there, but Houseplants Galore had amazing prices. And I spotted this little guy from afar. It was just on like a random little table. I think it had been like recently repotted. And yeah, I spotted him from afar and was like, oh, what is this little fella? And I rushed over there because I just saw that like beautiful pop of color, that veination. And I saw a glimpse of like the back of one of the leaves here. Let me just show you. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And I ran over and I was like, oh my God. I honestly kind of thought it may have been an El Chaco red. So I mean, still super excited for a Philodendron verrucosum because I don't have this either. And it's definitely been one that I've wanted to get, but I've always been, I don't know. I've always kind of thought of, you know, Philodendron verrucosum as being a major spider mite or just kind of pest magnet in general. So I always thought like, you know, I don't think I'll ever get one of those. I have enough issues with spider mites. I don't need a plant that is just going to like 100% invite them into our little world here. And they were always so pricey too. Like I've always seen them, you know, a pretty decent sized plant. I've actually never seen one in person before, but when I've seen them online, they've been like a decent sized plant for a decently high price. And I just was never willing to pay that much for a plant that I thought is probably just going to get hit by spider mites pretty well. So to find one that is just like a sweet little baby size that I can grow to hopefully its best potential for a really, really good price, under $10. That's an amazing price if you ask me. So I was really excited to find it. And yeah, it's been one that I have just had set on my desk and I've just been like watching her grow. She just, like I said, just pushed out this leaf here, but she also just pushed out, where is she? This little leaf right here. So stinking cute. And it's got another leaf that it's going to work on. So it has like 3 growth points. on this teeny tiny little plant, there's 3 growth points, which is just incredible. So super, super happy about this find. I can't give you any sort of care advice yet. I've just been trying not to let it get too dry for too long, especially since it's in just a little teeny tiny pot. But yeah, can't give you any care advice yet. So I apologize about that. But once I grow this out a little bit more and I have some more information, I will definitely be doing a care video on this guy. But do let me know if there are any other specific plants that you guys want to see care videos on in the future, because I do want to try to do more of those going forward. Alrighty, so this next plant on my favorites for, oh my God, already the month's July. We're already at the end of the July. I can't think about it. Anyway, the next favorite for my list this month is going to be this guy right here. This is my Anthurium vitchii. Now, listen for a second, okay? I know that this plant does not look quite worthy of a favorites list, perhaps. He's a little sad, but he's growing. So I have hope for this plant yet. I am just so happy that it's growing and that it pushed out an entire intact leaf. Do you see this? This was the leaf I got previous. It came out like this, like it ripped himself before he even unfurled. It ripped himself. So the fact that he pushed out this leaf, granted, this leaf is not looking great. I will be the first to tell you that leaf does not look great. I don't think he's going to be long for this world, but the fact that it pushed out a full leaf, I am just so, so happy about, honestly. Like, I don't even care if you die soon. I'm just happy that you're here right now. And I feel like, no, that just might be a little sheath. I was going to say I feel like there's a start to new growth already. There's not, but I am confident that this guy will continue to grow, probably very slowly but surely for me. And yeah, I'm just so happy that we have this leaf here. I did just kill a thrip on it, so there's that. That's definitely been part of our struggle, is pests. This is a plant that I have had cut back to a stump like 1 or 2 times, kind of similar to that Queen Esmeralda that I've had to cut back to a stump a couple times. This has been another one of my strugglers, but I feel like that's kind of one of the cool things about Anthurium, is that you can totally cut her back to a stump. It'll look like absolute trash or just like nothing, basically, and it'll regrow for you. Like, you still have another shot. It's not like it's just gone for good almost always. I found I've not lost, knock on wood, I haven't fully just lost an Anthurium. I haven't fully killed one yet. So, I mean, I can't say the same for other plants. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a pretty good sign. These guys are actually fairly tough, despite how, I don't know, how tricky they can come off. Sometimes they are pretty tough, despite being pretty tricky. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my brain, but yeah. So yeah, Anthurium forgetii, looking a little rough, but I'm just glad that she's here at all. So yeah, give me one last look at her. She's so cute. This one, not so cute, but this one, she's looking all right. Just all right, but good enough for me. It's so funny, when I'm filming, I have to shut off my AC unit. So on hot days, it gets pretty warm in here, of course, because, you know, or if I'm filming, it gets pretty warm in here. So I've got my lights on, so that adds extra heat too. And then my window is shut so that you can't hear all of the kids and the trucks and whatever going on outside. And my AC is off, so it gets pretty warm in here. And Sixto will sometimes just get too hot, so he usually will just like book it out of here after so long and just go elsewhere in the house. Looney loves it. She loves the heat. Like, if she could just be outside laying in the grass all day, she totally would. So we have been going outside so much lately. Like, we've just been after breakfast, before, well, it depends on which order we do things. If we go on our walk first, and then we'll always have breakfast first. But if we like go right after breakfast for our walk, then after our walk, we'll come back. We'll have like a little extra treat ski. and then we'll just go lay outside for a while. Like she'll just go plop in the grass. I can't, if I'm like trying to go somewhere or do something, I'm trying to get her off the grass, she's not having it. It's like trying to drag a sack of luggage. Like she is just on cloud nine, just laying in the sun. She loves it. She's my little lizard girl. She's just like her mom. The next plant that I have to show you guys is actually another new one for me. And I think I bought this at the same time that I got that little varicosum, actually, same day. So I bought these very recently. So this is also from Houseplants Galore. I don't have the price of this one on here anymore, but I want to say it was like $10.99 or $12.99. It wasn't more than $12.99 for sure. And it is just so beautiful. Now, because it doesn't have the little tag on it anymore, I don't remember for sure what it is. I want to say this is the Hoya crasipetiolata. Crasipetiolata. Look at her. Isn't that just gorgeous? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, so quick side note, Houseplants Galore, if you are a Hoya lover living in Washington, you need to go there because holy crap, you guys, they had such cool I'm sure they still have such cool Hoya, some that I've never seen before. They had a bunch of just like your standard Hoya, some kind of like mid-range, more rare Hoya that are like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Like I would say this is a more rare Hoya. Like this is not one that at least I see everywhere I go. This is my first time seeing this plant in person. And I was just like, ah, you're so pretty. You have to come home with me. And you're like $12. Oh, okay, you're coming home. But then they also had some way more rare plants. I don't even know how I was going to say that, but definitely way more rare plants, way more rare Hoya, there we go, that are just like those Jurassic looking Hoya, if you know what I'm saying, that are like blah, 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 or, you know, just like random letters and numbers put together for the name. And oh my God, you guys, they are so beautiful. Oh, and they had some beautiful begonia too. So if you're into more kind of like out there looking plants, Houseplants Galore has some really cool ones. But like I said, they also have like tons and tons of, you know, just more common houseplants as well. I don't know why I'm like trying to sell you on this place, but they just had such cool plants and the owner was so kind. So I don't know, just go there, okay? I don't know. But anywho, this Hoya crasipetiolata has already been growing for me. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, so yeah, this whole little like sprig, that's what I'm going to call it right here, is new. So these 3 leaves right here have come in since I purchased it like less than 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Or actually, no, maybe it was at the beginning of the month. I think so. It may have actually been like on the 1st of the month because they had a little class that I went to at the store. But then I want to say these 2 leaves right here, if you can see those, and then these 2 little tinies are also brand new, and then it's grown this whole long vine already. And then this little leaf right here is new too. So it's grown so well for me. I want to show you the back of the leaf as well. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Try and get my head out of there so it doesn't focus on me. But oh my God, I am just loving this Hoya. I love how thick the leaves are, and I just love that veination. And it has the slightest bit of silver splotching to it. So I'm hoping that with some boosted light, I will get some boosted splotching as well. Oh, and we have some more new little leaves over here. This guy's popping off for me. Like, what? So cool. I love Hoya. Hoya are so underrated. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're like not underrated at all. Maybe they're overrated. Maybe people are just loving them more than I think they are. But I just don't feel like I hear about them very much. And they're so cool. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of Hoya. So it's kind of endless. And I don't know. They're just beautiful. Look at that. $12.99 or something. I mean, pretty cool. Okay, let me grab the other favorite for this month. Alrighty, so my last favorite for the month is going to be this guy behind me here. And now this is kind of just general, but I will show you something specific. Sorry, I have to scooch back a little bit. So my last favorite for the month is going to be humidity trays with a humidity dome. Okay, like a waterproof, watertight, sealed tray with a dome on top so that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about watering nearly as much. You don't have to worry about really anything. As long as this guy is within proximity of some decent light, we're gonna be all right. And I can tell you that because I have little to no dead stuff in here, a ton of growth, and I haven't watered this since I don't even remember when. Honestly, I should probably look at it and just like see how terribly dry we are. It's a little dry in there, but honestly, it's not bad. Not nearly as bad as I would think. It's actually still quite moist. And I do have a surviving cuprea, you guys. What the heck? Oh, he just fell over. Do you see this little guy right here? That's a little cuprea. At least I think. I'm pretty sure. That's so exciting. Yay. But yeah, I mean, it's just, these are the best. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to have, like, I have mine, the bottom of my tray filled up with sphagnum moss, just moist moss that I just chuck random nodes and stuff into. Ooh, I do have one nasty dead node here. Look at that. Ugh, gross. Well, oh no, toss that in the garbage. Oh, and okay, see, I haven't looked in here in forever, and now I'm like seeing all this exciting new growth. So it's just fun and exciting for one thing, but you don't have to have, just like I do here, you don't have to have just random cuttings and stuff and all disorganized. You can have it much more organized in there. You could have little singular or individual pots in here and just use it as a source to just like have a nice tray to water and not have to worry about spillage. You can just have your pots soaking in the water, and then you can have that tray or the dome on top to keep the added humidity. The little domes almost always, depends on the ones you get, but almost always have like little windows that you can open and close to get more ventilation in or not, depending on the size and the age and whatever for your plants or just what you want. They're fantastic. It's just so nice knowing that I can put cuttings of plants that I love and that I don't want to die. Like, I want these guys to survive. Like, I actually care about the plants that are in here, but I maybe don't have the mental capacity to really worry about them right now. Like, I love them and I want them to survive, but I don't have the mental capacity, the mental space to worry about making sure that these are all good all the time. You know, I've got enough plants to worry about that. This is a section that I just don't have to worry about really ever. So I love it. And I think that these are kind of underrated, and it's definitely a favorite for the month. I've just kind of really noticed it extra this month, I guess, just with life being hard, and this has just been one piece that's just like not difficult, you know. I don't have to worry about it. It just is beautiful and I just get to enjoy it. So I really appreciate that. And I think that you guys could really appreciate it as well. So I wanted to share this with you. One last favorite for the month. And after I'm done filming this video, I'm just gonna like go through and just like sit and enjoy myself and look at all the pretty new stuff that's been growing in here. So that's another positive for a humidity tray, is that you may not look at it as much, but then when you do, it's like a whole new world of fun stuff to enjoy that you didn't even like realize was growing. So I love me some humidity trays and just another option for easy plant care. So yeah, that's going to be it for this month's favorites video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what plants or plant products or whatever, it doesn't have to even be planty. Just let me know what things have been really just kind of popping out to you this month. I've just been really helping you enjoy your life and just be bringing a smile to your face. Let me know what has been making you smile this month. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, I'm going to try and do another one of these next month because hopefully I'll have a new set of plants. Sometimes the plants kind of stay the same from month to month that I'm just like loving, but they definitely switched it up this month, and it's the growing season. So I have a feeling next month I'm going to have some more good picks for you. So I'm excited to do this again with you guys next month, and I will see you in the next video, which could just be in like a second or two if you pick one over here or maybe one over here. Up to you, but I'll see you guys in just a sec. Amedrium zipalaminum's even growing. That's freaking cool.